Jeff P, this game is on you. You decided to get Ariel Atkins and Vandersloot instead of going with Science Citron, and now it is biting you in the butt. None of us have a problem with Ariel Atkins or Vandersloot as players, but deciding to go win, quote unquote, win now versus going, let's build through draft, through lottery picks, and build something through a young core is biting you in the butt. It just happened today. Like, it was on full display. You got to look at Kiki RFN and Science Citron go against the vets that you decided to grab instead of building young. These are two players that you could have worked out to get instead of getting Ariel Atkins. Again, it's no knock on her. Or Courtney Vandersloot, no knock on her. Or even Haley, no knock on them. But you decided you wanted to try to win now instead of going young and building a core that could sustain you over time. How much time do you think Courtney has left? She just had her big major injury and is out for this season. Do you think she's going to come back and be a better player at, 37 years old? No. That's just not how ball works. That's not how sports works. It never works out that way unless it's LeBron or somebody. And love Courtney, but she's not LeBron. So instead of building through your youth, you have two. Look to my right, left, whatever that is. You have Kamilla and Angel. Imagine partnering them with somebody like Sonia, somebody like Kiki, somebody like JJ. I think JJ from Dallas was a second round pick. Like, you didn't even decide to go young, and your young pieces are HVL, who people had questions coming into the draft. Maddie, people had questions. And then Siska, who was overseas. That is what you were going to build this team on? Again, if you watch this channel, you know I don't really go at coaching staff, front office. That's not what this channel is about. But sitting back and watching your two cornerstone players both have 20-point games, and it's not even competitive, shows we're focused on the wrong thing. I watch Dallas. I watch Connecticut. I watch Washington. And all these teams have said, hey, we're going to go young and embrace it and have fun, and we're going to bump our heads. We're going to have good moments. We're just going to learn through it all. That's what these young teams are doing. The Sky don't know if they want to be young. They don't know if they want to be Kia Nurse, Vandersloot, and Beck Allen old. They don't. The Sky don't know what they want to do. Like, as a fan of Angel, okay, let's back up. I became a fan of the Sky when they got Candace Park in free agency. Loved Sloot, Copper, Sloot's wife. Like, that was a really, really fun team to watch. And I was watching because Candace Parker came over. I'm a West Coast kid. We love Candace in LA. I wasn't mad that she left. She left on crazy terms. But then I really got into my bag with the Chicago Sky and became a fan and enjoyed Chicago. And the championship roster, everybody ran away from the organization. And the more you hear from players and the more players talk, you understand it was actually the organization, not the city, not basketball, but it was Courtney Williams who came after that saying, hey, we get a hotel near the arena for half of a day on game days. So we do our warm-ups an hour away. We all live an hour away, close to practice. We do our warm-ups at the practice facility, and then we drive an hour, shower up in this hotel, go play a game. After the game, we can't come back, shower up in the same hotel, take a night of sleep, rest, recovery, and then go home. No, we have to, after the game, either drive an hour back to the facility or just drive that hour back to our home, which is closer. There's a problem in Chicago. It's not just hoops. But unfortunately, you have these two skyscrapers, these cornerstones. Every team would love Kamilla. Every team would love Angel. I'm sorry. And there's no love there from Chicago because nobody wants to come to Chicago. I don't know. Again, I said it in my video this morning. I think Jeff wants Chicago Sky to be San Antonio Spurs. I think he thinks that's the blueprint. Don't get me wrong, the Spurs in the 90s was amazing. I'm old enough to have watched every championship. I've been there. I watched it all. Everything fell into place correctly. There's not a Ginobili just walking into the W or a Tony Parker or a Bruce Bowen, a defensive player. Where's that on the Sky? Nobody? Nope, nobody. That stuff doesn't grow on trees. But here Jeff is trying to recreate the 1999 San Antonio Spurs and thinks he's going to build through that way. There's no way. Again, Angel and Kamilla met Sandra Citron and Kiki. They met him point for point, stat for stat. They met him there, bro. All the vets you brung in outside of Rachel is doing her thing, and Beck looks good today too. But Bex was a outlier. She's had 12 bad games for her every 2 good games. But there's no youth. There's no building around the draft. The new culture of the WNBA is happening. And Jeff, don't miss it, bro. Don't miss it. You got kids like Juju coming. You got kids like Hannah coming. You got Olivia Miles coming. You have Chloe's right. You just have so much young talent coming into this league, and you're so focused on overseas. And I'm gonna tell you this: you line up an overseas guard versus Juju, you line up an overseas guard versus Olivia versus Hannah versus Caitlin versus Paige versus JJ in Dallas versus Lefty in Dallas. You gonna understand, like, there's a talent gap between overseas and American players. They grew up in the American culture of basketball. We've seen it. If you really, really watch ball, you see some of these people from overseas have the most skills, and that cannot convert into what we do over here in the States. And Jeff wants to be the prime subject to figure this out for the W, when it's like, bro, we see Paige, JJ, and Lefty in Dallas making major noise. We look at Connecticut, who has a worse record, but you watch them and you say, oh, Connecticut has an identity, and we know in 3 years they'll probably be something tough. Chicago doesn't have an identity. Looking at Chicago, we say 3 years, I see what you're building. No, because if it was, the starting lineup will be, again, I'm not saying this should be it, but if we're going off of what you did with draft picks in offseason, the starting lineup should be Haley, Errol Atkins when she's healthy, or Michaela, and then Maddie, Angel, and Kamilla. That should be your main rotation. If you're going young like Connecticut, LA, if you're going young like Dallas. But that's not happening. You brung in all these vets that are washed vets, respectfully. You didn't bring in the vets that's adding value. If you bring in 2 Errol Atkins, again, y'all gonna get tired of me saying this. If you bring in Errol Atkins, Aerial Powers, and then maybe Kia Nurse, if that was the 3 you brung in, it's like, okay, those vets are athletic. They're still not young, but their game style is still good enough to deal with what's happening in the NBA, the WNBA, the youthfulness in the WNBA. Ariel and AP, and both Ariels, they're both names Ariel. They can handle dealing with these young, hungry guards. They can handle Sonya. No, they might not be able to stop her, but they can go one-on-one. They can go at her. They can, instead of Kia Nurse giving up wide open layups and then try to stop her from driving, to get her wide open threes. This is what I'm seeing. Chicago Sky organization. Man, again, this isn't what it's supposed to look like. This could have been Sonya's 28 points tonight, could have been on our side. You gave it up for Ariel, and I love Ariel's game. Ariel, she wasn't the solution that was going to take us to the playoffs or to the championship. It's just shown. The proof is in the pudding. Oh, yeah, you may not have known it, but did she really carry the Mystics to a championship? Did she? Like, we can talk history of the game. I watched that championship because I was a fan of Aerial Powers and Natasha Cloud. That's why I was so tapped into that team. It was a team that won them that championship, and you don't have the same type of team in Chicago right now. I'm AJ. This is my mic. Peace.